This is definitely one to consider at the moment. Crown Castle stock. Ticker symbol is CCI. It's about $90 per share at the moment. It's the same price it was in 2017. The dotted line here is my average price, so I'm going to be throwing a little bit of money into it today. But everywhere I'm looking is saying it's undervalued and it's looking like a buy. So it pays $1.57 per share 4 times a year, and that gives it a dividend yield at the moment of 7%. The first major red flag I could see with them was that they have about an 80% debt to assets ratio, which obviously is not great. Profits are decent though, 25% over the last year. But it's starting to look like it's oversold, in my own opinion. And there's no way I can look at that graph and think it's not a good idea to put a bit more in, because I was happy enough to invest when it was up here. So of course I'm going to buy it for much cheaper when it's down here. So I bought in for the first time on the 21st of June of 2021, and I am now 40% down. So I'm certainly happy to scoop up more at $90 a share. Current average price is $156 a share. Now what Crown Castle does is that they own, operate and rent out communications infrastructure, so towers and fibre. They have about 40,000 towers across the US, and they have 85,000 route miles of fibre, which is mainly supporting small cell networks and fibre solutions. It's a decent sized company, 5,000 employees, and it's in the rental and leasing industry in the same way that McDonald's is a real estate company. Although we don't see McDonald's as a real estate company, that's their business, renting out those locations. Crown Castle's current value as decided by the stock market is $39 billion. PE ratio is 22.4, and the industry average is currently 26. By this metric, it would be good value. Current revenue of $7 billion, nice earnings per share of $4, and a tasty dividend yield of 7% at the moment. So it pays its dividends once every 3 months, and it pays about $1.57 each time. So the profit margin over the last year is about 25%, and over the last quarter is a little bit smaller, 16%. Their debt is not looking too good though, but I have seen much worse, 80% over the last year, which is not great. And then over the last quarter it's 82%, so it's gone up a little bit. And we still have probably another year or two of pain in my own opinion, but obviously I'm not sure. I do think things will go lower before they start coming back up. Crown Castle's cash flow over the last year from operating is about $2.8 billion. From investing is negative $1.35 billion. And from financing is negative $1.6 billion. So Crown Castle was founded in 1993, and this price I'm hovering on was in 1998. So 5 years after they were founded, they were $13 a share. And they've had a pretty wild ride over the years, but it's looking like the fun is over for them for the moment. Now, I certainly don't think they're going to fail. I don't mean it that way, but when you look at this price here, the 7th of January of last year, it was close to $200, and it's now been cut in half. So the music is starting to slow down for them big time, and depending on your investment strategy, this could be a great time to get in. The lowest Crown Castle has been in the last year is about $85, so we're getting very close to it, and the highest it's been is $153. So it's really been struggling recently. But as far as the anatomy of the company goes, it doesn't seem to be too bad. Could just be a lot of people selling out while they still can to then buy back in later on. I did see one source as well said the intrinsic value of Crown Castle is $116. So it's undervalued at the moment by about 25%. So there's certainly blood in the water. And this is one source for the dividend history of Crown Castle. And it looks like they like raising dividends. They will pay the same amount throughout the year and then try to up it. But it will be interesting to see what they do now with the stock price falling so low. But my guess is they're not going to stay at this price for long. Of course, it could go lower. I don't know. But from my own perspective, I'm about 40% down. So I'm certainly going to be buying a little bit today. Yeah, I'm thinking a healthy €30 would be a good decision. Now, it's hardly a huge amount, but there is plenty more discounts out there that I have to try and scoop up. So just to wrap it up, Crown Castle, ticker symbol is CCI. It's about $90 per share at the moment. Dividend yield close to 7%. It pays $1.54 per share 4 times a year, as long as it continues to do so. Its price to earnings ratio is below average, meaning that by that metric it's at a good price. It seems to be below intrinsic value also, so another indication that it's at a good price. And although the debt is not great, about 80%, closer to 82% debt to assets ratio, I do think that if you want to hold stocks for the long term, this could be a good buy. But anyway, let me know what you think about Crown Castle.